I'm going to pick you up early, yeah. Just wake up at like 9. I'm live streaming. Gotta go. Love you. Bye. Good night. Sorry, that was my child. He's sleeping out for the night. Okay. Let's get to the juicy stuff, bitches. Oh! I have a theory on why he went out of his way to Xana's room. Tell me. I need to know. We all want to know. Yay, Jennifer Evans. Amanda, y'all. Amanda, if you don't tell me why he went out to his room, I need to know. Like, hello? By the way, guys, I'm not in my room. I'm not in my studio at all. So, thank you. I'm so excited you guys are here from TikTok. So, what I'm going to do is like start out with something real juicy, actually. I'm going to start out with something real juicy, okay? So, let me minimize my live so I don't have to like look at myself at all. And then Liv, Carolina, Meg. Oh, you all came from my live on TikTok, Tiffany. Maybe, but because Xana was the one awake, literally just got DoorDash. And then Shirley said, "What do you think the motive was?" Kelly made it from TikTok. L hearts. Okay, so you guys, Yesenia, we have to. Let's get into this really quick, and then I'm gonna like start reading like a lot of stuff. Hey, Natalie. We're going to start reading a lot of stuff. And like, this is all, oh, Tiffany. You guys, I'm telling you, if you have been following this case whatsoever, you're going to shit. Okay? So what do you guys think? In thoughts of like, if he was the stalker or not, like, do you think he was the stalker? Like, I mean, they said Kaylee had a stalker, and I'm gonna say this, Kaylee's dad had dad and mom, but more so her dad had some select words about, no matter if my daughter was like mean to you or whatever it was. And then he said he deserved the death penalty. So that was like very, very intense. And he said that last night. So it's like, my daughter was mean to you. It feels like it's very targeted towards Kaylee. Do you guys think that? Okay, so Amanda Marquez said, theory, BK finished unaliving his targets, went down through the kitchen to leave. Xana was in the kitchen finishing her DoorDash or bringing it back to the kitchen. BK ran into her, and that's when and then it cuts off. But I think like that's when you think she passed away. But her DoorDash was confirmed to be there at 4 o'clock, and Bryan was not there for a few more minutes. So the timeline wouldn't really add up. She was on TikTok at 4:12 a.m. also. So I think she brought it to her room. She was awake, and maybe Ethan was coming out to go to the bathroom. And I think that's why they mentioned the bathroom in the affidavit. Okay, I'm gonna like, you guys, the more you comment, I'm going to keep on reading through your comments, keep on reading them. I'm about to get to like a major thing. I'm going to read a couple more and then we're going to get back in. Okay. I see a Bass family vlog. Yes, I do. His phone ping near there's 12 different times before the murders. Okay. Let's talk about the phone pings. It is extremely, extremely difficult to confirm phone pings in court, okay? Because it's towers, so they ping from towers. There has been cases where pings are like 25 miles away because it's a rural area. I can't say that word at all. Rural, You know what I'm saying? And the nearest tower is 25 miles away. So it's really hard to do that. And that is one of the things that I want to bring up on what the defense can bring to this case when trying to defend Bryan Kohberger. Okay, I'm gonna read a couple more and then I'm gonna read like one or two more, then I'm gonna go on here and then come back. Um, well, thank you, Alondra, for coming from my TikTok live. Amanda Marquez, there was a picture of her half-eaten DoorDash in the kitchen with Xana's name on it from the crime scene. Could she have eaten it and brought it back to the kitchen and he followed back to her room? Um, where did you see that photo? Might I ask? And then Alice said, how do you think he killed them that fast? My heart breaks for all the victims that the families and the universities and Murphy, poor Murphy. I know I feel so bad for the puppy dog. Um, I know there's a lot of videos and footage circulating, but it's like what is actually confirmed, like we really don't know. So you guys, I'm going to get into my first theory, and if you have ever been on my streams on here, which I really don't do a lot of streams on here, but I bring up stuff on my TikTok live stream or on this live stream that goes everywhere from this live stream. Not on TikTok, that stays on TikTok until I upload it. But this live stream comes on here, stays everywhere, and these are intense theories. So, um, I'll say that and then I'm going to begin. So, if you're okay with that. Okay. Everything I'm about to say, it is what will his defense use to fight in court with the affidavit. So we only know so much with the affidavit, but to me, most of the affidavit you can use against them, like against the victims' cases. Like the affidavit was just like insane to me. Okay. So I made a bunch of notes on what Bryan could win in court and say F you, like XYZ could be the thing. And it wouldn't really be Bryan, but it would be his defense attorney. But let's go. So I'm like, what do I start with? This is minor. A lot of people were like, oh, he changed his license plate. Did anybody see that he changed his license plate? 5 days after he committed this crime, allegedly. Do I think he did? Yes. But did anybody see he changed his license plate, right? Guess what, guys? His license plate was supposed to expire on, or his registration, whatever the fuck you call it, on November 30th, 2022. So he could say, that's not out of the ordinary. I was doing it early. I was trying to do stuff early. I knew I was going out of town. I knew I was going to visit my family in Pennsylvania. I changed it early. That's why I changed it early. But they continuously say in the affidavit, he didn't have a front and back license plate. And in Washington and in Idaho, he went to school in Washington. The murder happened in Idaho. He was supposed to, thank you, Amanda. He should have had a front and back license plate. I know where I live, we don't have a front and back license plate. I was like, why do people have a license plate? Why is it on the front of their car? Whatever. But he was supposed to have a front and back license plate. He was pulled over in August. but it was a Pennsylvania license. Okay? So it wouldn't be weird. I know the whole internet is going crazy and they're like, he was supposed to have, he like changed his license, blah, blah, blah. He had to before November 30th. Whether that was strategic or not, guess what? He has an excuse. Whether that was planned out or not, he still has an excuse. And that is so fucking strategic. Like, I'm not even going to lie. Okay, Tiffany said, I read somewhere tonight that the landlord of the victim's house is the same owner of the car Bryan has. Like he bought it from somewhere down the line or the company had a landlord. I wouldn't believe that at all. I would wait till it comes out in court because if you read it tonight, nothing major is coming out tonight. And they already said that like Bryan sold Kaylee the car, which like he could have. Like who fucking knows? But like I would wait on that. Like wait on really believing anything like that, but any hard evidence like that, I would just wait on. I would say it's speculation, but I wouldn't count it out. Okay. Yeah, Shanda said he probably did it around the time the plates were going to need to be changed for a reason. Yeah, because everything is so calculated, right? Okay, so Bass Family Vlog says, why did he change the whole plate and not just the sticker? I'm just wondering. Usually it's just sticker when you renew your plates. The plate was originally registered across the country in Pennsylvania. So he was supposed to have like front and back plates, right? If he was in Idaho or Washington. He went to school in Washington, but there was an address that his cell phone number was under in Washington. So, um he didn't have front or back license plates. That's one thing that they did match on the video surveillance footage that they saw him driving all around town before and after the murders and in front of their residence. This vehicle, the white Elantra, did not have front and back license plates. And then it just so happens 5 days later, he goes and gets them. He has front and back license plates now, but it was supposed to expire in a couple weeks, so maybe he was like, I just don't want to wait till the last minute, right? Okay, you guys, I'm going to move on to my next defense, like what they could use in a defense. And I'm going to go through your comments, see what you think. Oh my God, I just like moved one of the monitors. So they will ask in the affidavit, they said that the forensic examiner in the affidavit that I read, it's on the previous TikTok live from this and it's posted. I mean, not TikTok, YouTube live posted, and it's going to be on all of our podcasts. They asked the forensic examiner what year the car was. The forensic examiner that has been working this shit for the past like 30 something years, and I can pull it up and like give y'all the exact years if you really want me to. But he or she originally said 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. They posted it. They didn't actually post it at this point. They just asked all of the police departments in the area and surrounding areas. So Washington was not too far away, like where he was. Like Pullman was not too far away where he went to school. So they said, guys, we're looking for a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. And then a Washington police officer saw a Hyundai Elantra that was in the parking lot. Students reported it to the officer. The officer called in, said blah, blah, blah. And then at some point, the forensic examiner said, oh, wait, it could be a 2011 to 2016, not a 2011 to 2013, but a 2011 to 2016. I think the defense, Bryan's attorneys, are going to ask, when did they say? It could be a 2011 to 2016. Did they wait until they got the tip off of Bryan's vehicle that they said, oh, a 2011 to 2016? Were they just trying to frame this guy? Or did he say that prior? Which they never posted prior or at all saying it could be a 2016. So I think like his defense will totally use that. They'll say they didn't ask for that kind of vehicle. Were they trying to bait him? Were they trying to throw him off? Were they trying to, did they really not know? At what point did the forensic examiner say 2016? Because when that Elantra was seen in the WSU parking lot the night of the murders, they knew that. But they still didn't know. And it was not the same year of the car that they released to the public. Somebody that worked in this shit for years and years and years, like tens of years. So they're gonna say, did they just did they just decide that after they were like, okay, wait, we want like multiple people to agree with us to examine him? Fuck you. That's what the defense is gonna say. I am not sticking up for Bryan. I'm saying what the defense is gonna say. Okay. Also, let me read my notes. And okay, and here's another thing. If it were after with the forensic examiner determining the white Elantra parked near WSU, they will excuse them of changing wait. They will accuse them of changing their mind in order to investigate somebody with bushy eyebrows because they say that we saw this vehicle and they were like, oh my god, yeah, like that's the vehicle probably, and then they're like, no wait, it's 2015 or 2000, yeah, I think it was a 2015 that Bryan was driving, or 2016, whatever the fuck it was. And they ran his license and then they were like, it's a guy that fits the full description. Were they just doing that because he fit the description that the surviving roommate gave? And they know that they can use that against them because a lot can be used against what the surviving roommate said. Live, yes, 1000%. They will totally get DNA evidence from the car. If they don't get DNA evidence from the vehicle, do you know what they will get? They'll get fibers from the floorboards or the seat cushions, whatever, and him walking in and out of the house. They scrounge that bitch up so fast. Okay, here is my main thing, you guys. And this is like on the ticket. And let me answer a few questions. So do y'all remember the footprint? In the affidavit, they said they found a footprint. And yeah, they could totally say this footprint matches the size of his shoe. This footprint matches the shoes that he's purchased. This footprint matches whatever XYZ. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. They were just trying to get at the fact that DM was reputable enough to say this. But here's the thing. D, we're going to call her D, the surviving roommate, was not able to recognize who was in her apartment. If they find any DNA, and we're talking DNA, you guys, and this is going to mind fuck you so hard. I'm not even going to lie. If they find any DNA of Bryan in that house, this will be a TikTok either tonight or tomorrow because it's really good. If they find any sort of DNA in that house, they will not be able to use it unless it is consistently on the victim's bed, on their body, on their XYZ. Why? Because that house was a known party house. Say Bryan came into my house right now, right? And he did that to my 4 living here. And I was the one that survived and I saw him. And I was like, I don't know him. Like, he looked like this, blah, blah, blah. And then they got his DNA, like even a hair, like on the freaking walkway. Sure. Then we know who it is. His hair was in the house. I've never seen the guy. He's never in my house. That's his DNA. Like, he definitely did this shit, right? But for them, this was a party house, and this is what fucked them. There is body cam footage of so many parties going on, multiple parties going on. And when the cops get called to their house, ring the doorbell, people answer, and the cops are like, who resides at this house? Who is the owner of this house? Who resides at it? I need them to come forth. The door shuts, people come forward. They're like, they're not here. They're not here. I don't know. They must have left, but I could give you Maddie's phone number. She lives here. And they gave them Maddie's phone number. And Maddie's like, oh my God, like, okay. And they're like, okay, like, you need to take care of it, blah, blah, blah. The defense could easily use that and be like, yeah, Bryan had been at that house before, sure. And maybe he had the same knife that it looks like he like stabbed these people with, but he didn't. He must have like left his like hunting knife there because he likes to hunt. But he's been there before. And you can't say he hasn't. And none of the roommates can say that he hasn't because we have on body cam police footage that they have random ass people opening the door to the police saying, anybody that lives here is not here. And why did they say nobody that lives here is not here? It's because the people that were underage were probably drunk or whatever, and they did not want to get arrested. So, what do we think about that? Okay, I'm going to read through comments. What evidence did they... Okay, so Shanda said, what evidence did they find in Bryan's parents' neighbor's garage that Bryan was putting in there? I'm unsure. I never saw anything about that, and I've been like keeping up with all the reputable news, so I'm not 100% sure. Yesenia said if they find evidence in his car and DNA, it's 100% without genealogy. Wouldn't be donezo for BK. Or am I wrong since there isn't a weapon? No, if they find DNA in his car, he's fucked. And like honestly, I think You guys, I really think that they might have the weapon. I think they might have the weapon and they're just like waiting it out. But maybe I'm thinking like way too far into this. But I do know that the FBI is like literally acting stupid, and so is the Moscow Police Department. They're like acting stupid and they're like, we didn't do this till this day. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, we already know you did. Okay, let me read more. Meg, with the defense wounds we've heard about previous, I'm hopeful there will be some more DNA. Yeah. So the thing about the DNA is that they needed DNA from Bryan after he left the house, after the 13th, right? But you have to get that ethically, if that makes sense. So they couldn't just be like, bitch, we have to take your DNA. Like, you have the right to refuse anything. If you go to the doctor's office right now and they're like, we just want to draw some blood, you have the right to refuse. So, they needed enough to get him into custody to get that DNA. And I guarantee you they had sputum samples and blood samples, whatever it might be. You know what freaked me the fuck out is earlier when I was making a TikTok video and I was like, yeah, they have like the shoe, and he was walking through with the shoes and then they're able to see the size of the shoe, make sure that the shoe would fit the same person that was inside of the house. So they went inside of Brian's house, they took his shoes, and I was like, what the fuck if he wore shoes that were way too big on purpose? We all remember the O.J. Simpson trial. Like, the shoe doesn't fit, then, like, how can you convict them, right? Okay, so, Liv K asked, what does redacted mean on the affidavit? So, redacted means they basically took information out that they did not want the public to know. And if I could say, I believe most of the information that was redacted on that entire affidavit for the warrant for his arrest was autopsy reports. But I do believe that the lawyers and everybody else can see that. The public just can't. Okay, Haley, do you think his parents knew? No, I don't think his parents knew, like, at this point, but the way he looked at his dad when he went to court for the first time, and his dad looked at him and he goes, that shit had me fucked up. So, I don't know. Like, I feel the same way about his dad. I'm like, his dad is innocent as I do about the roommates. That's off record, but not really because I'm live broadcasting and then this is going to be everywhere by tomorrow. I feel the same way about his dad that I do of the roommates. I'm like, I don't fucking know. Okay. Carissa, I wonder what his parents think after reading that affidavit. The affidavit has a lot of stuff you could fight. So they either are like, what the fuck? Like, my child. Or they're like, damn, bitch, like, who the fuck is our child? You know? But also, on the other hand, most people that do these sort of things have really fucked up childhoods. So we really don't know who these people are. Allie, I'm not going to say your last name because I don't know. Allie K, do you think that the glove found outside was his? No, I think that was like somebody that was working in the house and doing forensic evidence, and it just blew out because it was windy and snowy and everything like that. Um Jennifer Evans, I feel like his parents know this is something he's capable of, like, they know he's off. 1000%. If I mean, like, as a parent, you know everything about your child, right? And if you don't know everything, you know when something's off. Like, I can look at my oldest son that's a teenager in the face and be like, blah, blah, blah. Like, ask him something that I know he could lie about. And if he lies, it's like his face, like you could just tell in his face that he's lying. And he's like, "How do you know that?" And I'm like, "'Cause I'm your mom. Like, I'm your mom. I know you're fucking lying. Like, you're not gonna lie to me." I don't believe that his parents just thought like, "Oh, like this is just another day." Um, Mensimer I'm gonna say Mensimran Car. I can't say it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Um, do you think that he was at the frat party where Ethan and Xana were? He could have been, but maybe not. But he could have been. The phone was pinged in the area, and the messed up part about phone pings is that, like, you really don't know where they're pinging. So that is, like, really not gonna be something that they can use in court whatsoever, because it's very, like, subjected. So, um, by the way, they said that Brian was visiting around their neighborhood 12 times prior to this quadruple homicide. And they were like, "We know this because of the cell phone pinging footage," right? All they have to do, all Brian's defense attorney has to do is prove once that he was not there, he was, like, in a different area because cell phone pinging is, like, so off sometimes, and then they can't use any of the cell phone pings as any sort of leverage whatsoever. What they need is DNA inside of his goddamn house. And his house. Their house. I'm so sorry. Jesse Ray, there's so many variables with his education. I feel like leading up to the crimes was probably very well premeditated and planned out, but I think in the moment of committing the actual crimes, he lost it. Fully agree. I feel like he thought he had all this shit so planned out, and then at that point in time that he decided to do these crimes, he went full on manic. Like, he had to be manic to do this. You cannot tell me that anybody that, like, does this kind of shit, unless it's, like, in an anger way and it's, like, quick, like, bloom, like, with a gun, like, whatever, that happens a lot here, I'm not gonna lie. I live, like, right outside the suburbs of New Orleans. I genuinely think that he was manic as shit, not thinking, and he wants to regret, like, his decision to do this, but he's not. And why is he not gonna do that? Because he is too proud, he is too cocky, he is too arrogant, he has to know it all, and he is never gonna admit that he ever did wrong, because he always has to be right. Shirley Balin, I don't know. I'm so sorry. Um, do you think okay. She said, "Do you think the roommate is saying the truth and do you think he will confess?" I think we have no idea about the roommates. I think we're going to learn bombshells about the roommates. And no, I don't think he's going to confess, but would I love for him to? Yeah, this would make it a lot more emotionless for everybody else. Like, they could just, like, move on with their life and it would be all fine and wonderful if he could just be like, "Yes, I did it," but I don't think he will. I think he gets joy in hearing about what he did. Does anybody on here think that he might have not done it? Like, they have the wrong guy? I'm just asking. I don't believe like, oh god. Okay, Allie said, "Who do you think had defensive wounds besides Xana?" I genuinely think I don't think that all of them were, like, effed up in the house. Do I think the roommate was the one that heard everything? Yeah, a little bit. But I think they may be using, like, "Oh, she didn't call until, like, 12," because they're like, "Oh, she had this much alcohol. It was determined on video footage that she had this much alcohol, this much" like, if she had 8 drinks processes in 8 hours of time, by that time, she was sober enough to, like, call and make a statement. Maybe they're lying about that. Jesse Ray. Oh, yes, they're gonna make the prosecution prove he was there. 1000%. They're going to make him prove he was there. But the fact that he's, like, so emotionless and he's just like, I don't know if y'all watch a video and, like, his lawyer, his defense attorney was talking to him and he, like, turns to her and he goes like this and just looks straight forward, like, dead on. Like, he has no emotions, like, not a goddamn thing. Okay, Lexi Randolph said she also could have called earlier because I'm pretty sure that they said the murders were around 3 a.m. at first, not 4 a.m. No, they had the timeline wrong, and Kaylee's family 100%. They said like that the timeline is wrong that they put out. And then they stopped talking after they were putting that kind of information out. You know what I mean? So I really do think that they knew what time the murders happened, but they didn't want to like exactly release that yet. I had to remove somebody for the first time on YouTube. You guys had to remove somebody for the first time on YouTube for talking shit. Willie99. Lexi, there's so many things that could be wrong that just haven't come out yet. There's so many things. Oh my god, yes. Like, fuck Willie. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god, I thought I removed you. Wait, how do I block you, you loser? Are you Bryan? Hide user on this channel. I think that's maybe how we do it. And then I'm gonna block him later. I don't know how. Everybody's like, bye. Is he Bryan? Like, you fucking loser. I mean, obviously it's not Bryan, but like, you don't know. Maybe he like bought a cell phone in jail with Wi-Fi. I am like, yeah, he's bored. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get off of this live stream, and I am so glad for y'all coming on here and like commenting because you know it's gonna be broadcasted everywhere and it's gonna go live. So I'm gonna end the stream, but I guess I'll go live on TikTok right now and talk about what we talked about. I love you guys. Thank you for coming in and like being guest. And I'll see y'all in a few.